Good morning, Marco Island. This is the Good Morning Marco podcast, the first, best, and only podcast on Marco Island. I'm your host, Jordan Crayley.
And I'm your other host, Ryan Sullivan.
And today we have a super special guest,
Kyndal Ray Edwards.
I am so excited for this episode because even though I only found out about your journey, your mission, just yesterday, actually, I am just floored by the amount of work that you've done in the past 3 years, 4?
January will be 4 years.
Wow.
January 1st will be 4 years since I started this journey.
So just under 4 years worth of work. Could you give a short pitch just to tell the people about what you're doing?
Absolutely. Kyndal Ray Edwards, a.k.a. a walking testimony, walking across multiple times into all four corners of the lower 48 states of America, Northwest Washington, Southwest of California, already checked and completed. We already did another coast to coast. Now we're heading down to the southwestern eastern point of Florida, up to the northeastern point of Maine, walking for mental health awareness and recovery and remembrance of our loved ones who are no longer with us due to mental health and or recovery issues, to let them know that they will never be forgotten and will always be in our hearts. Walking for the ones that are currently struggling, to let them know that there is hope, that we do recover, that we all have value and purpose, and that we all matter. As somebody who has personally in the last 18 years of my life tried to take my life twice, overdosed, been in county jail 11 times, in prison twice. I'm 32 right now. I have 13 felony convictions and a bunch of misdemeanors, but I'm a firm believer that my past does not define me. And as of October 12th, last month, I was 6.5 years drug-free, so I'm actually pushing 79 months here in just a couple days.
Incredible. It is probably one of the most astounding elevator pitches that we've had. So
It is, yes.
So before we get into all of this, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor.
This episode of Good Morning Marco is brought to you by Tyler Buchan of the Golf Group. Located right here on Marco Island, they're your go-to experts for luxury living on Marco Island and beyond. Whether you're looking for a waterfront home with golf access, a condo with stunning beach views, or a private retreat down on Hideaway Beach, Tyler and his team will guide you to your home. Visit thegolfgroup.com to start your search today, or call 239-420-1099. Once again, that number is 239-420-1099. Go to thegolfgroup.com to find out more. Thank you so much to Tyler and his team for sponsoring this episode of Good Morning Marco.
Just in case.
And another word from our other awesome sponsor.
Thank you so much for sponsoring this very special episode of Good Morning Marco. So, again, Kyndal, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank y'all for having me.
100%.
Yes, I'm so glad that it worked out. We were all texting and trying to figure out a time last night.
Mm-hmm.
I just am so enamored by the commitment you had, or you have still, for this journey. And you're about to embark on going across the Everglades, which I would never think of doing. I would never, not unless I was in a car, because the mosquitoes are terrible.
Well, you picked the best time of year to be here right now, because all the mosquitoes have frozen over back to hell. So we're not going to see. I haven't been bitten by a mosquito in weeks.
Are they normally up here in Marco Island too?
Oh yeah,
really?
So bad.
Yeah.
So I'll be pretty decent as of right now, because I ain't been.
I'm not going to make you any promises.
It's all right. Hey, I'm going to be prepared regardless.
Yeah, good. So you are, by the time this uploads, you'll have done what is the most difficult leg of your journey thus far. You're embarking in 2-3 days?
No, I do that November 14th.
Oh,
but
okay,
in less
got
than
it.
a week.
Okay.
Less than a week.
And how far will you be walking in that time?
So it's so I'm pushing an ultra marathon. I'm gonna do it all in straight shot. I got a support vehicle coming out. Hopefully everything goes smoothly and that there's no injuries and everything physically, mentally, and just goes right. So I think I'm gonna start in Carnstown, which is
okay. Yeah.
Where you turn on the road to go to Everglades City, because I'm going to go to Everglades City and walk there and hang out for a couple days.
Yeah.
But I think when I actually take off, I'll probably take off from the gas station in Carnstown, ride on 41 Tamiami Trail by Everglades City, and cut straight to the Miccosukee
Yeah.
Casino and Resort hotel over there, where it hits the next highway and just probably rest very well at that casino and resort.
Yeah.
Whenever I get there, it looks like it's going to be between a 60 and 70 mile stretch, probably closer to 65 or 67, give or take a couple miles. So
That is incredible. And then you told me earlier, what is the longest single walking day that you've had thus far?
36 miles. That was in Alabama. I had gotten a hernia, and I walked that many miles so I could go to the ER the next day.
That's insane.
You didn't tell me that part.
Yeah.
That is.
Well, I told you I had to save some of the stuff for.
No, I know. Well, as for
Ryan tries to get everything out right before.
Well, no, to peel back the curtain, I mean, if it is someone that I've never met before, I will attempt to establish the rapport when we first start. And the things that I want to know are the things that I know I'm going to ask on the podcast. So I kind of jump the gun just a little bit in interviews like this one. But that is incredible. What was that like? When did you realize that you had a hernia?
Oh, dude, I was doing a dance challenge in some abandoned building for TikTok. And, I drink a lot of water. I had to pee, so I went behind a tree out there, and, I saw this giant lump, and it freaked me out. I go on Facebook, and I was like, hey, I need the doctor to call me ASAP. And my mom's best friend, who's, a nurse, she hits me up, and I explained to her what's going on. She's like, that sounds like a cyst or a hernia. And so a few days later, I pushed a 36-mile walk into Tuscaloosa, Alabama, to go to the
Roll
ER
Tide.
the next day.
Wow. That is also highly coincidental because the first hernia that my dad ever had, we were also in Alabama. It was the first time I ever left the state. It was when we went to go get my dogs when they were on a farm up in Alabama. So I don't know.
Nice.
I think it's a curse upon this land.
I don't think it's
Hernias in Alabama. Be careful, everybody.
Yeah, watch
Be
out.
careful. Don't get your hernias in Alabama.
You can make a whole campaign about that for Scroll Tide. I
know.
Too. So I had a question that I went to the Kava bar and I said, this is who we're interviewing. And the first thing that came up is, what type of shoes do you wear?
What type of shoes do I wear? Well, normally people ask how many pairs of shoes have I been through.
Well, yeah, that as well.
This is my 22nd pair that I am wearing right here. And my favorite brand, boom, take them off here, Ultra Running. Ultra, hit me up.
We need a
Actually, they
sponsor.
already did. They hit me up the other day. It was so awesome to see a message from them. Ultra Running, guys, ALTRA, not ULTRA. My favorite is the Olympus 6s. Absolutely awesome. They got some gnarly tread, very thick soles, and I probably put 500 to 600 miles a piece on each shoe.
That's
wow.
That's absolutely. So your tomorrow will be day 842, right?
Yes.
And how many miles have you walked so far?
I'm at exactly 9,300 miles.
That's insane. That's about how many miles were on my car before I went on my road trip.
Hey, I got a few oil changes on these feet.
Because I got that car brand new, so now I'm thinking about how far I've driven, and that's how far you've walked, and I'm just like, it's mind-boggling. It's insane that you. So, what started this? Because I know from some of your YouTube videos that I've watched that this has been a goal that you've had for quite some time. When did you first come up with the idea that I want to walk across the country?
So this journey was inspired. Originally had nothing to do with mental health and recovery. Right. It's just a dream of mine to walk across America. 2013, I was doing a year in the county jail in Clay County, Florida. That's where I'm from. Original Florida boy, Floridian here. What's up? But I was doing a year in the Clay County jail. I read a newspaper article titled America on Foot about a guy named Harrison Melanian, a.k.a. America on Foot, who had walked from Tallahassee, Florida to Laguna Beach, California. I fell in love with the story, knew I wanted to walk across America. Got out in 2014, found him on Facebook, asked him some questions, got some advice, and he said the only thing that he would have done differently was walk for a cause. Yeah. So I'm like, boom, okay, cool. So I go on Facebook. I'm like, guys, I'm going to take off January 1st, 2015 and walk across America for some causes. Anybody got any ideas of what I could walk for? People had gave me different ideas. I picked two totally different causes that had nothing to do with mental health and recovery at all. And my lifestyle wasn't in the right spot yet.
Yeah.
So as I'm telling everybody and preparing for this journey, I'm really still on drugs and doing stupid stuff and being a criminal. Ended up on probation that was going to keep me from being able to take off January 1st, 2015. And now instead of working on everything, where was I January 1st, 2015? I was breaking into a post office, taking people's Christmas presents and mail, and ended up going to prison for burglary of the post office. And got out of prison, went back to prison for 5 years, changed my life into that a little less than 2 years into that 5-year prison sentence. So April 12th, 2019, that's the day I changed my life.
Yeah.
And then my last year in work release is when I remembered that I actually wanted to walk across America. And at that time, I was pushing about 30 months drug-free when I remembered. I had changed everything about myself. I had worked out so hard for a couple years and just changed every aspect of my life. So now I was in the best physical and mental shape of my life. I had a little bit of money saved up in work release. So I'm like, I saw this canvas painting and it was the 7 continents and I saw North America and I was like, dang, I was going to walk from like Florida to California back in 2015. That never happened. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, dude, you're about to get out of prison for like the first time in however long. I've been in and out of jail for like 10 years. It was like the first time finally without probation, just completely a free man. In almost 10 years with a little bit of money saved up and you're in the best shape of your life. You could go walk across America, dude.
Yeah.
And I thought about it. I'm like, well, what would I walk for if I did? And every day on social media, somebody's posting about another loss of life to drug overdose or suicide, mental health and recovery issues. And like I said, I've tried to take my life twice. I've overdosed and in and out of the system so much that I was like, this is what I got to walk for. Because at that point, I didn't have a following or anything. It was acquaintances and friends and people that I've known from the local areas and communities. So it hit home to see that many people posting about another loss of life, you know? So a lot of people that I have known or been to parties or even went to school with are just not here anymore. And it's just kind of like, dang, I was a scumbag for so long and all this stuff that I done, I shouldn't be here. These people weren't that bad of people. They just happened to go through something and aren't here anymore. So I'm like, dang, I got to go walk for this. And so that's why I picked mental health and recovery. And I got out of prison November 6, 2021, and less than 2 months later, put my feet in the Atlantic Ocean in Jacksonville Beach, Florida, January 1st, 2022, to start this journey.
It's incredible.
Sorry, that was a long-winded answer.
That's a
We
good
love
answer.
Yes.
When was the moment from when you departed from Jacksonville? When was the moment that, like, I know that you were like, I'm doing this. This is real. When was there a moment where all of a sudden it's like, wow, I really am doing this. This is real. Or was it like that from the beginning?
Honestly, this whole journey to seem surreal.
Yeah. Have you not hit that point yet then?
There has been moments that I have done it. So like, this is the thing. I try to remain a pretty humble person.
Right.
I have a journey that could earn me an ego. Every once in a while, I have a couple buddies that I can call and be like, bro, I just need to brag for a little bit.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, well, I'm like, bro, I literally walked across America, dude. I did this, I did that, I did that, I did that. And I'm like, all right, it's out my system. Then I don't think about it again. You know, it's I think if I would have not been out here for doing it for a cause, then I probably would have felt like that a lot more. But as I'm out here doing it for a cause, I realize that I'm doing it for things that are so much bigger than myself, that so many people are impacted, that at the end of the day, all I'm doing is walking. Anybody that's physically capable and that can walk can do what I do. Anybody could do it. It's literally the mindset to do it or making the sacrifice to go out and do it. Not everybody wants to do that, and that's completely understandable and rational. But at the end of the day, I just walk. That's all it is. I just walk, and it's not that big of a deal to me. And if that makes sense, you know, I've been through all kinds of weather. I've walked through the Rockies of Colorado, my first time ever seeing snow and all of that stuff. And in the moment, I feel like pretty awesome that I did it, that I was able to complete it. But at the end of the day, I'm like, for thousands and thousands of years, people had to live like that and do what I'm doing without cell phones, without hotels, without proper clothing. Like people, like if my wagon wheel with my horse and buggy broke down in the middle of the winter, I have to get out there with no fires and all of that, unless it takes me a long time to go chop my trees and then chop an extra one to rebuild my tire. Like, I've learned to appreciate just how comfortable we have it in the modern world, to the fact that people didn't have it. That this really, when people say, I don't know how you do it, it's a mindset, because people had to do it for years or we would not be here.
Exactly. With all of that, has there been a time when things got a little complicated or challenging and you thought you almost wanted to quit?
So there was only like one time that I was like, I'm going to stop this journey and screw it and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, my second state, I was in Georgia. Like, it was like my first couple weeks in on the journey. And like 10 minutes later, I'm like, dude, you're barely anywhere on this journey. Just shut up and stop. Now, there has been times and days like I wish this journey would go faster, that I wish I would be done. But then I realized this is my life. I don't have anywhere to be. And I go back and forth with myself with that a lot. There's some days I want to be done a lot faster. But then I realize like this is literally my life, and it's pretty awesome. Yeah.
What do you? So how far are you from the end? From what you officially like say is the end? I know we probably keep going after that, but
yeah. So the journey will probably get extended. My thing is I am trying to, whether it's unofficial or official, I did send an application to Guinness World Record. I'm trying to set a world record to be the first person to walk to all four corners of the lower 48 states on a continuous route, and I've documented it so well that. If they see it, I will most likely have that.
100%.
And then, of course, I want to do a minimum of 100 miles on each continent. That's going to take some preparation. It's going to be a little hard, especially getting.
Got to get your passports in order
as a convicted felon and everything like that. You know, some places I might even have to call embassies to make sure I can get over there and everything. But my mom was just telling me the other day, she's like, son, I think you should walk back from Maine to Washington. I'm like, dang, Mom, my mama told me that. Like, what? So you never know. There could be a whole nother crossing across America. Maybe I'll just cross as many times as I can in the next few years. But eventually I also want to be a professional skydiver.
Ooh. Have you gone skydiving before?
3 times on this journey.
Wow. Nice. I've gone skydiving. I love it.
I haven't done it yet.
Do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do it.
I know I have to, but that is one thing that I'm just like, I'll leave that to other people to.
Oh, why would I jump out of a perfectly good airplane?
Well, no, not that. It's just like it's not exactly me yet. I think I'm warming up to it. I've done my first solo camp
Nice.
in the past 2 weeks.
How was that?
It was great until my blood is 100% Floridian, and it was 37 degrees up on the mountain, and I was trying to sit outside of my tent and actually watch the nature, but I couldn't be existing outside of my tent and like being alive at the same time. So it was either stay inside the tent or go back to the car.
Did you have one of those electric heated vests?
I did not.
You need to get one of those. Those work really good.
Okay.
I've never even heard about that.
Put on some thermals, and
I had thermals on and everything.
have thermals,
I was
a couple extra
prepared.
layers, but if you're in that kind of position, you want to be out there, you'll feel the warmth from the heated vest,
Have
and they feel good.
have you walked through like Morgantown, North Carolina?
I haven't been through North Carolina yet. And when
Okay,
I go
got
up
it.
through there, I'll be kind of on the coast.
Okay, so it's near Asheville, and there is a weather phenomena up there that I was trying to see. It's called the Brown Mountain Lights. They're extremely rare. It's kind of like a mixture between the will-o'-the-wisp, ball lightning, and the aurora borealis. It's like a mix of all three, and it's only happens right there in the Linville Gorge near Table Rock and Brown Mountain.
Never even heard of it.
So most people have never heard of it. It's extremely rare, but they've been seeing it in that valley for hundreds of years. The leading theory on what it is so there is no scientific explanation as to what it is. I mean, there have been people that say that they're ghosts. There have been people that say it's aliens. Everything that you could even think of, someone said it's that.
Did you get to see it?
I didn't. because it was too
cold?
foggy. I would have stayed. I was going to stay inside the tent. I'm like, I'm here to see the lights. I'm not here to camp. It's like the camping was just a secondary thing of this to be able to say that I've camped out, which I did sleep outside in sub 40 degree temperature. So I'm good. I got
Not
it.
many Marco people can say they've done that.
Yeah. So I will do it again with the actual goal of staying overnight in the wilderness. But I mean, that's anyway. This isn't about me. I just haven't told that story yet on the podcast.
You made me
'cause that happened
think,
last
like,
week.
actually, like, to throw some more attention, to grab some more attention on my page, I need to, like, throw my camping in the snow and stuff out there for all these South Florida people and be like, he's really done it.
Yeah.
I think the worst I ever had to camp was 2 degrees in the snow in American Falls, Idaho.
Jeez.
Terrible.
I imagine. Yeah.
Dude,
Also,
I had
you
to wake up the
grew
next
in Florida
morning and
too, so-
throw like hand warmers in my socks immediately because I thought that was going numb and it hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like pins and needles. It was bad.
Yeah. It was snow flurrying, not to the point where the snow was actually like reaching the ground, but it was like it's kind of raining, kind of snowing, and I forgot my gloves in the car. I would have probably stayed out if I had my gloves, but without the gloves and like trying to pack up the tent, I'm like, I can't feel them anymore. And my mind is telling me that I should take my clothes off. And I'm like, I know that is the cold trying to get to me. It's like, I'm not doing that. But otherwise, I'm trying to get off of it, but I love talking about it. So I won't. But what's been the single greatest day you've had on the road?
800 and almost 42 days of this thing. You want me to pick a single one?
Okay,
Holy
top 5.
moly.
Well, is there
moly.
something that immediately comes to mind, or is
Always. There's always a couple of things that come to mind right off the rip. Grand Canyon. I could say that I walked to the Grand Canyon from Florida, and I walked the long way. I walked to Washington and California first. So the Grand Canyon was very special. So since I am crossing America on foot, of course I get the Forrest Gump reference quite a bit. And you mentioned that you saw the video. I have a video of me in like the the tube socks and the short red shorts and the Bubba Gump hat running at the Forrest Gump point in Monument Valley, Utah. That was pretty cool. The whole Navajo Nation was really, really cool. I got a lot of special gifts out of there. Somebody gave me like their grandmother's scarf that was like I had for like decades and decades. It was nuts. Somebody gave me a Navajo Nation flag that was hanging at the Four Corners Monument where the Four Corners touch for a long time.
Wow.
So I got a lot of special stuff out there. My favorite individual spot of all time, Nia Bay, Washington. It's the McCall tribe. They took me whale watching, gave me some of the best fish I ever had, let me be in the parade that celebrates their tribe. Just absolutely amazing. Got to go out on a boat 3 days in a row. Like, it was just really good people. I got to walk across the Golden Gate Bridge with one of the last people to ever jump off and survive, and we had a whole group of people, and that was on day 500 of the journey, which was also my 31st birthday, March 30th, 2024. So that was a very special day.
Wow.
And have you ever seen or heard of the movie Joe Bell?
I'm not familiar.
It's Mark Wahlberg that goes to play a father that walks across America after his son took his life for coming out as gay on like a school football field or whatever. So I got to have dinner with Joseph Bell, who lost his brother who took his life, and his father who went to go walk across America for bullying, got hit by a semi and died in Colorado. So yeah, it was just nuts.
Intense.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot. So Joseph Bell, I reached out on Facebook like 2 days before I got there. Somebody was like, LeGrand, Oregon, have you ever heard of the movie Joe Bell? I was like, yeah, I've seen it a couple times on the journey. They're like, that's where that family's from. So I was like, this is a wild shot in the dark. Hey, does anybody happen to know any of the family members? Cool. Next thing you know, somebody got in touch with me. I gave him my number, and the son the next day calls me. He's like, hey, man, I'd like to take you out to dinner. So that was pretty special, too. And then, of course, skydiving in Moab and base jumping in Moab and Monterey Bay. I went skydiving in New Mexico. So I've got to have a lot of cool experiences on this journey. I met the dude who invented sandboarding, which is like snowboarding, but on sand dunes. His name's Dr. Dune Lon Beal. Really cool. I got to go have lunch with him and try sandboarding. That was really cool. San Francisco. I think a couple days after I walked the Golden Gate Bridge, one day I was walking to a hotel. Before I made it to my hotel, I was on a little ocean walk stretch. Within a mile period or less than 10 minutes apart, 2 different people stopped that got me tickets to go to 2 out of 3 of the opener games for the San Francisco Giants baseball. And then both of the games I went to were winning games. So
Wow.
Nice.
It was really cool.
You have someone watching over you heavily on this journey.
God
Yeah.
has blessed and taken care of me in so many ways.
Yeah.
I've got to see the goodness of people. People in Oregon, I don't know if I paid for a night of lodging in Oregon, man. People
Really?
put me up every night. I got to stay in like a 4-story mansion on a mountain over the ocean of Oceanside, Oregon. It was nuts. I had a 4-story house to myself pretty much with a giant spiral staircase, like 3 giant decks on the house. It was stupid. It was crazy. I was by myself. It was wild.
You're like, I sleep here one night, I sleep in this room the next night.
Yeah,
Try them all out.
Yeah, I wish I could have just had a whole bunch of people come over. It was a cool
Yeah.
spot. So yeah, I've got
I saw a official friend of the podcast, Deb Henry, was friend of the podcast, not yet official friend of the podcast, Fiona Winter, put you up in where you're staying right now.
Yeah, Fiona and Deb got me taken care of. They hooked me up, blessed me for a few nights. And this is the thing, like I was just trying to ask for rates and stuff.
Yeah.
To trying to find a spot to rent. They're like, no, we want to take care of you. And that doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen sometimes. And anytime that does happen, I'm so grateful and thankful because even though I am employed and sell merch, it does get tough out here on the journey.
Right,
So stuff like that does go a long way. And it's very grateful and thankful. So Fiona and Deb, if y'all hear this, y'all are amazing and thank you. Y'all matter.
And I'm sure they will hear this because I know that Fiona has messaged me multiple times that she listens, and we interviewed Deb, because she's a city councilor on Marco, but
Super sweet lady, too.
incredible. I love her.
So you were saying that it might get a little tough just doing the merch. And on your Instagram, I've seen you post about some side work that you do. What's been like the most interesting side job?
So it's funny. Just the other day was the first time I've done a side job like that in almost a couple of years.
Really?
Yeah, because I monetized through Facebook. I had a big page. I was making like $2,000 to $3,000 a month off of Facebook, but I completely lost that page. I lost the monetization back in March. Completely lost the page in August. Yeah. I had 144,000 followers on that page. It was nuts. So now I'm trying to rebuild. My other page is making about $1,000 a month, but with all the hotels and stuff as I'm traveling, it gets a little more difficult. So I have the merch, and I just totally forgot the actual question itself.
What's been the most interesting side work or side job you've done?
Yeah, so
I almost forgot to.
I was about to change it.
all right, so the most interesting side work, so I'm just going to redo that whole question. The other day I did some side work with Deep Shine Pressure Cleaning out of this general area who goes all over. Awesome guy, Jesus. Thank you for the work, bro. And that was the first time I've done side work in a while because I monetized through social media. Now, I would say some of the crazier side work I've done is I had a dude pick me up in Long Beach, Washington, drive me to Portland, Oregon to chunk about 2,000 pieces of firewood into a giant U-Haul. And he drove me in my first like Tesla, and we went over a really crazy, sketchy bridge, and he let the car drive itself over the bridge, so it was wild. That was a fun one. In Long Beach, Washington, I even stopped for a month. I rented a spot, and I worked with a dude who owned his own thing, and he kind of more or less did it just to help me because he was able in the position to. But, I did a little bit of construction work and stuff with him. They were doing some remodels, so I'd help with the cleanup and stuff. But I tried to do more than he would let me, basically, and he took good care of me. So
That's good.
But yeah, the other day we just went to do some like junk removal and stuff with Jesus and Deep Shine, so that was fun. But the U-Haul one was definitely a fun one.
So, what are I'm trying to think of a good way to phrase this question. When it comes to the actual goal that you're doing, is there somewhere where people can support you through this other than just getting your monetization or support any like I know Addict to Athletes, you've got links on there, and what is the best thing that people can do?
Well, and this is the thing. we're out here, we're raising money for nonprofit Addict to Athlete. I don't receive a dime, so I'm going to push
Right.
that the hardest. I always mention my merch because things do get tough and I have it. I'm not out here to ever ask for anything for people for free. People pull over on the side of the road and they try to give me cash. I make sure they get a bracelet because I'm not here just to take people's money. I don't mind working and doing all of that. So the main thing is I'm fundraising for nonprofit Addict to Athlete. Nonprofit, they're focused on mental health, recovery, education, and recreation. I actually met them on this journey walking on my first Coast to Coast to Long Beach, Washington. When I started my second Coast to Coast, I started this fundraiser for them.
How much money have you raised for?
So we've raised over 27,000. I want to say $27,900 or $600.
Wow.
But we recently had somebody that's matching like $7,700 that was raised in a week period recently. So those numbers should jump to over 34,000 once that check gets in, and then they are able to manually upload and everything. But that might take another couple weeks for the numbers to show. But I believe over 34,000 now.
That's incredible.
Wow.
Yes.
That is insane.
And on the first Coast to Coast, we were able to raise $6,700 for the nonprofit To Write Love on Her Arms, based out of Melbourne, Florida, actually.
Wow.
Is there a state you haven't been to yet?
Other than North Carolina, because I know we already said North
I've
Carolina.
been to North
Oh,
Carolina,
haven't
just
walked
not
through it.
on the
Okay.
journey. I haven't been anywhere on the East Coast above North Carolina.
Okay.
I haven't been to like Montana, the Dakotas, or anything like that. I didn't really do any traveling before this journey. So I've been to 19 different states on this journey, but 26 state lines crossed. So I've walked through different states at different sections on the journey a couple different times.
Wow. I'm trying to think because there's like so many things that are going through my head, and I don't know how to
I've got
place my
another one while you
thoughts.
think.
Go ahead.
So since you're kind of doing the four corners, would you ever do an interior circle to kind of, or an interior loop to kind of spread the word a little more?
Well, I did go through the Midwest. So I'm not doing like a box around America. So I diagonaled from Florida to Washington, came down the East Coast, and then I came through the southern states. Now, it's really the eastern states up there and then the northern states that I would have to hit to really hit them all. Now, there's a good chance that I will hit more of the states I haven't hit. But at the same time, even when you're walking through a state, it's kind of more or less one directional path through the state, and there's still so much to the state that you miss. So to go back and hit all of the portions of different states would be so hard to actually do that.
Yeah.
And eventually I want to start my own nonprofit and everything like that. So, I mean, of course, the journey could get extended. It might not. Who knows? Who really knows? God does.
Amen.
What was, when you first started, what is something that you didn't expect would happen that has happened since then?
I didn't expect somebody to offer me to take me on a base jump off a 400-foot cliff in Utah.
Well,
I definitely didn't expect that. That was, even though we're not together, I didn't expect to get a girlfriend to date almost for 3 years on the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I was going to do the whole journey single. I ended up meeting a girl in Oklahoma, and we dated. She broke up with me 2 days before our 3-year anniversary.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this year, so I didn't expect that.
Yeah. What do you think's been the greatest lesson that you've learned walking?
That not even just me, but we as a human are so capable of so much more than we allow our minds to think sometimes. That literally, and it might be a physical game for some people. Not everybody might have the physical capability. Some people have broken legs or maybe not have legs at all and everything like that. But to the people that are actually physically capable of doing things, it's just a mental game. Yeah. It is a mental game. Oh, I could never do that. I don't want to do that. Well, if you literally had to, you could, or if you wanted to, you could. You just don't have the desire. So I've learned that about myself. I've learned that I can accomplish so much more than I ever thought. I learned that not every day is easy, but I get to control if I'm going to be negative or I'm going to be positive about a situation. And I think that's huge when it comes down to mental health, because a lot of times we get ourselves in a bad situation and allow that to our negative thoughts just to consume that in
Yeah.
a way that can be so detrimental to ourselves and to our mind, and just to be able to go through a hard time and smile in the
Yeah.
face of adversity, or to push through and be like, this sucks, but I'm going to keep going. It really is, that really helps. And lately I've been watching a lot more of like David Goggins and just ultra marathon runners, Matt Johnson and some other people. And it's just really been inspiring me to even want to hit that type of next level, because people think I go hard. Then I watch these guys. I'm like, I don't even go hard. Like, this isn't nothing.
Like, I'm not carrying boats and
but
logs.
the thing
I'm
is,
like-
it's exactly, and I want to carry the boat, dude. And it's, I want to be, because it's a mindset.
Right.
It's a mindset. If I want to do what those people are doing, I'm physically capable. I can be at that level. And they tell you can do it, but don't just sit there and watch. Go hard, or get big, or I'm not going to curse, but
Yeah.
that's David Goggins for you.
Yeah. Have you had any encounters with wildlife on the road? I'm sure you have, but like, what has been some interesting stories there?
So, and it wasn't while I was necessarily walking, but my first time ever really seeing elk. Some dude in Colorado picks me up on a side-by-side and drives me up on some private land on a mountain. And he was like, hey, take these binoculars and look over there. And I look over there, and it's like a herd of like 200 elk just all over the mountain. It was nuts, like lasted for like 5-10 minutes. This
That's
whole
crazy.
thing,
I didn't even
elk
know there
coming
were
over the
herds that
mountain.
large.
That's something you see on the Discovery Channel.
That was pretty insane. Now, whenever I was in the Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon, I walked by elk all the time.
Yeah.
And some elk are just freaking huge. Actually, some people let me stay in their cabin one day, actually for a couple of days near a creek outside of Forks, Washington. And they're like, you'll hear a lot of elk, and they run in herds like 50, 60 out here. You might get loud or whatever, but it's all good. One morning, I walk outside of the cabin, and I'm just on my phone, just feeling the temp and everything, and I'm on my phone, and then I'm like, I look over, and there's a ton of elk, like, right next to me to that camera, bro.
Yeah.
And, like, they're all watching me, and the second they know that I know they were there, they just started moving. I was like, what the heck? It was insane. That was pretty cool. I saw my first bear, my only bear, in Cape Lava, Washington, over by the ocean, flipping some little rocks, looking for some crabs or something. And I saw the whale in Nia Bay, Cape Flattery, Washington.
Wow.
And a lot of dead animals on the
I
side of the
figure
road.
as
Smells
much.
terrible.
I keep you've mentioned the Pacific Northwest a lot. Now I'm thinking about Bigfoot.
Dude, highly talked about out there.
Yeah.
Heavily talked about out there. There's Bigfoot stores all over out there.
There's Bigfoot stores all over everywhere. You'll be walking past the Skunk Ape headquarters that we interviewed the guy who started it, which Skunk Ape is Florida's Bigfoot. I'm being a Florida boy. I'm
Nice,
bet you
heck
know
yeah.
that. Yeah. But have you had any stories of your own, or just like I don't really?
No.
Yeah.
None of my own Bigfoot stories. But when I was in high school, my science teacher, his name was David Wright. I think he's passed away. I read an article this past year or something. But he was part of the BFRO, the Bigfoot Fields Researchers Organization, and they have hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of equipment, all these casts and stuff, and sounds that they've caught of Bigfoot and all that stuff. So that's about the closest I've got to Bigfoot.
I talked to one of those guys at the alligator wrestling world championship just a few weeks ago in the Everglades.
I bet that was cool.
Yeah, it was
so
It was
cool.
very cool. Let's see. What do you eat when you're on the road?
A lot of like peanuts, like just kind of little snack things. Honestly, I don't eat a lot.
Yeah.
I don't eat a lot. I'll walk 20 miles on a handful of peanuts.
Wow.
Most of the time, I don't eat breakfast. I don't eat lunch, and I have a big meal when I'm done walking. I'll go to a restaurant or something. I eat a lot of seafood.
I bet it's probably a lot easier to walk on an empty stomach as well.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I went and had lunch with somebody today at Carrabba's, and after we were done, I was like, I don't want to go outside and hold this "You Are Enough" sign on the side of the road, because this is why I don't eat lunch. But I still went out there and did it. But dang, I was like, ugh, slow me down.
How much water do you drink in a day?
A couple bottles.
A couple of bottles? Okay.
In the heat, in the dead of summer in a very hot area, I'll probably go through a gallon or more a day.
So you talked about the coldest area that you've been, but what about the warmest? It's been like the hottest day on the journey.
Warmest. So my hottest day was 108 degrees coming out of Palm Springs, California. But that one didn't affect me as bad as the 98 degree in the Mojave Desert. I walked 20 miles in the Mojave Desert. I was trying to shoot for 40. It didn't work out a few miles in. I was like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and drop it to 30. By the time I got to 20, I said I had to stop right now. I did get sick a little bit. Almost got bad heat exhaustion. It was just very, very minor. And that was pretty rough.
Yeah. Well, you're picking a very good time of year to cross the Everglades.
Thank
So that's not going to happen on this trek.
Ultra marathon.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to most?
With
just in general.
Setting a world record, changing lives, changing lives and setting records. That's great. That changing lives is the biggest one, positively, not negatively.
There we go.
I don't want anybody to go ruin their lives because of me. I want them to better themselves.
Yeah. Good. Jordan, do you have any questions before we get into some rapid fire?
Yeah. So I was thinking, since you had asked some people before you kind of their advice and essentials, what would you say is your walking and cart essentials?
My walking and cart essentials. Well, one of the biggest questions I get asked, especially live streaming all day, is how do I charge my phones? So I push a doggy stroller, no dog. In my doggy stroller, I have bins that with, like hygiene and camping supplies. I have a tent. I have a blow-up mattress. I have a pillow, lantern.
Wow, that all fits in.
First aid kit. I have a bin full of clothes, a backpack with my laptop and stuff like that, and a backpack of bracelets. Somebody recently just gave me another jacket, so I have a jacket in there and a few extra things. And then on the top, I have a bin. And on that bin, I have 2 Jackery power stations that just always keeps all my stuff charged. And I stay in a lot of hotels, so I keep those power stations charged up a lot. I keep bear mace and a knife close by for protection. I got my few phones with me, some phone mounts, bracelets, and I always keep a few snacks and a couple drinks just in case.
There you go.
Nice.
All right.
Pretty much, yeah.
I think it's time to move into some rapid fire questions. The intro plays.
Rapid fire questions.
I always forget we have an intro.
I almost did too well. I was editing 2 weeks ago's episode last night. Jordan, go ahead and
kick
us off.
I'm just gonna do
Go ahead.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Tea. Sweet tea.
Sweet tea.
Sweet
Okay.
tea.
Yeah, you're from the
Yeah.
South.
Amen.
If you could have lunch with any person, living or dead, who would it be?
Why? Why this question?
You could usually I say like historical figure or someone like celebrity or famous person, so that we don't have to get roiled down in the dumps with it. But you can say whoever you want.
Paul Walker seemed like a cool guy. Paul Walker seemed like a cool guy. I mean, there's so many other options. I just would have to think longer about that and really boil down why. But yeah, Paul Walker or Jesus.
There you go.
But I mean, I'll see him one day. So
yeah. I can ask our other really big one.
No, I think I know. Okay, yeah. Mountain or beaches?
if I'm thinking for like the rest of my life, beaches.
Mm-hmm.
But mountains are incredible. Yeah.
Cool. All right, that was the question that I was going to ask.
It's like, wait, then what was the question you were thinking about?
That one.
Oh, I thought you had 2 in mind.
No. That was the other one that I was thinking of.
My bad.
Oh, jeez. What's been your favorite meal that you've had on the road?
Well, I will say I've probably eaten at 500-600 plus restaurants on this journey, so it's hard to boil that down. I will say one of the ones that stands out the most, it was called Anthony's Seafood, and it was in a landlocked state of Boise, Idaho. And it was so fancy. So fancy. The people that took me there, he was like, "Hey, we're going to dinner tonight, and I'm going to take you to dinner. What kind of food do you like?" And I said, "Seafood." And he's like, "Cool, I'm making reservations." And I was like, "Oh, crap, reservations. I shouldn't have said seafood." So we get to this restaurant, and I open up the menu, and the dude watches me and sees my face when I look at the prices on this menu. And I'm like, I felt so bad that I mentioned the word seafood. And he was like, "Kyndal, stop." And he was like, "I just want to let you know." He was like, "I've been through all this." He's like, "I just had a ton of back pay from something." He was like, "You are good. Get whatever you want." He was like, "I saw your look." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And dude, the waiter comes out and explained in detail every type of oyster on the thing, knew everything about everything.
Yeah.
And I even, like, I told this dude how impressed I was with his knowledge. Like, it was a big deal to me. But yeah, it was called Anthony's Seafood, and it was absolutely amazing. Now, I've eaten a lot of places. I'm on a clam chowder mission. I eat a lot of clam chowder here. I eat clam chowder at almost every place on the West Coast. And Rockaway Beach, Oregon, has probably one of the best clam chowders I've ever had. Just saying.
Cool.
Just saying.
Oh,
I get too enthralled in listening, and I forget that I'm
I
supposed
know.
to be
I
asking
forget
questions.
that I need to think of a question. Okay, meeting all kinds of people. What has been the most interesting culture you've learned about or gotten to kind of?
Reservations. Not necessarily one tribe or the other, but all the reservation lands that I've gone through.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. I love them. People that keep their traditions that have been going on since they were ever around.
Yeah.
They don't lose sight of that, and there's something super special about that. I've got to go to like spiritual ceremonies and like drum things and
Yeah.
just all kinds of stuff. I got to see cultures like traditional dances and stuff. Yeah, just natives, man. I love the natives.
Can I ask a quick follow-up
Go ahead.
question?
Yeah.
Do you think that you have any, like, personal traditions?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Not really. Not really. I mean, growing up, we used to have the holiday type traditions
Yeah.
and stuff, but I've been locked up so much of my life that it not like
Doesn't-
that no
yeah.
more, you know what I mean?
What is? Dang it! It completely escaped my mind. It was such a good question too. At least I think it was a good question. I don't remember it anymore. I hope it was. I'll just pretend it was a great question.
It'll come back.
No, it's gonna come back because wait, I gotta retrace my steps in my head.
Time out.
We were talking about traditions. What does a day in the life look like for you?
Day in the
Like
life.
an average day walking. What does that look like?
So every morning I get up. I'm on day 92 out of 100 days. But I've been doing it every single day for the last 92 days. I get up in the morning. I do at least 500 core reps.
Wow.
Before we start the day. After that, brush the teeth, take the shower. I always do a shower before I walk too, unless I'm camping. So take a shower, get up, or do my videos. I'd make a couple videos for my storyline. Then I make a longer video for a reel. And then I get those posted on 4 different social media accounts. And then usually I do a whole nother post that has GPS screenshots and stuff of what I'm walking for the day or for the next couple days. Get that posted in as many groups as I can. And then if I'm checking out of a hotel, just kind of get everything together, ready to check out. If I'm not, that it can vary because sometimes I got to get a ride back to where I left off, or sometimes I take off right from the hotel. No matter what, I always leave from where I left off the day before. I never cheat my miles. So that can vary with time and stuff. Because sometimes I might get a ride. It might take an extra hour to get back. So then I'm talking and chatting to people. But when we get out there, we just walk. Most of the time between 10 and 20 miles. Some days are more than 20. I've had plenty of them, but not as lately. Whenever I'm done, and I post as I walk. So if I'm taking videos, as long as I got reception stuff, I post while I walk. I live stream my walks on Facebook every day. When I finish my walks, it's just a bunch of posting. All I do is post, man.
Yeah.
And just responding to messages all day long in between everything that I'm doing. Tons of messages. And, normally, like I said, I don't really normally eat during the day. So at the end of the day, I'll find a meal or I'll DoorDash something or go out to dinner with somebody. Sometimes people offer to go out, and yeah, just kind of normally I'll crash with a movie or you know, some YouTube videos and stuff while I'm responding to messages until I fall asleep.
Follow-up question.
Yes.
What do you watch on YouTube? What's your like favorite stuff to watch?
Well, recently I've been getting into the scammer payback guy. Watching his
I
videos.
love scammer payback. I love
He's just
pierogi.
awesome, especially after my Facebook got hacked this past year.
Oh,
and
is
I've
that how you
over
lost your
15
Facebook?
grand on Facebook? Not the way these guys are doing it, but just knowing that I was.
Yeah.
So it's nice to watch people get caught for what they're doing on some of those situations.
I love all those guys. I love Scammer Payback. I love the tech support, Jim Browning, the tech support scams guy. He's the British guy. He doesn't show his face, and he like hacks into the like security cameras for all these different call centers in like Kolkata and Lagos, Nigeria, and all those, and he will like take down entire scam companies with his like attacks that he does over the internet. I love all those. Fell down that rabbit hole a while ago when I had a scam caller on the line for 2.5 hours just to waste their time.
Wait, how did you keep them on for 2.5 hours?
I pretended to be an old person who was struggling to get to the store to go buy the gift cards.
Can I hear your old person impression?
What was my name? I think my name was Bruce Wilson. I said, "Oh yes, okay. I'm sorry, sir. I can't hear what you're saying. You have a very difficult voice to understand. You can't say that right at the beginning because then they'll get upset at you and like leave. But when they think they have you on the line, just like, all right. No, I'm getting into my car. And I'm going to go to what was it that you needed me to get again? And I kept forgetting what they wanted.
You're tuning into your Donald Trump impression a lot when you do that.
No, no, because the Donald Trump impression is very different. But it's also an old man. I don't know. Don't come at me for that. It's been a while since I did that. But I would channel Keaton's grandpa. That's what I do. I do a little bit of that. We've got a little bit of the breathiness behind the tongue and a little bit of a lisp there. I go, what was it saying again, son? Like that. Oh, again, This isn't about me, but still. That was my 2 questions, I think. So.
And Adam and Anwar. Anwar Jabawi and Adam W.
Yes.
I love their videos.
Was there... I'm completely forgetting, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
They look alike, but they're not brothers.
Okay.
They make funny videos.
Okay. I guess technically I have a beginner question before the real question.
Okay.
Would
Is
you
it a
consider
two-parter?
yourself an adrenaline junkie?
Yes.
What is one adrenaline rush you are looking forward to have?
Another skydive.
That's fair.
What is something that you haven't tried?
Yeah.
Ooh, you know what? A buddy that's on my Facebook, he's just taking a boat ride from Seattle to Alaska to work on one of those big boats, and he was just showing the waves and stuff, and I was like, dude, that looks freaking terrifying. I want to try it, LOL. That's what I typed.
Next, you gotta sail the whole country.
So
do the Great Loop.
there's that, this is the thing. I don't know if I'll have the money to make it happen, and I'd need a group of people. But in the Keys, and I've already looked up the company. I know how much it costs and everything. I want to go cage diving with sharks. I've been telling my buddies since like way on early this journey, like for like the last 2 years, that when I make it down to the Keys, my goal is to try to cage dive with sharks.
Yeah.
I want to cage dive with sharks. So bad.
If I had any connections, I would help.
So
you out with that, but
bad.
I know. I'm thinking. I'm like, Clay lives there. Who does Clay know? Clay
Does
knows
anybody
everyone.
know shark cage divers?
If you happen to, we can ask the Sea Farms girls if they've met anybody
We
that
see
we
if
can
Kyndal
get.
knows.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm
Kyndal.
sure. I'm sure she does.
Yeah.
I just remembered I never made it over to Sea to Table.
Oh, Sea to Table's fun.
I heard
It's
it-
one
I
of the
heard it was
most
a pretty cool
interesting
place.
places in the world, but
Is it?
It's a grocery store that doubles as a club and is also like a MAGA superstore at the same time. It's an interesting place to say the least.
Yeah,
One of
they
the
sell
best
My
steaks I've ever
Pillows.
had. Of course, they sell
Really?
My Pillows. That's funny. I did work there for a video production company when Carrie Lake was in town. She was running for Senate in Arizona, and she was one of the few Republicans in 2024 that actually lost the Senate seat. But she's like massively well known. She was on a book tour and also like on a campaign tour. I don't know why someone running for Senate in Utah was in Florida, but I digress. It was still it's still a very fun place. If you have time, I would recommend going and trying it because it's like one of the things that is so Naples.
The Naples rite of passage for sure.
One day we're gonna have to interview Alfie Oakes if he'll come on. I've met him a few times, but
I've never met him. I've only seen his car.
Which I do have to tie this up very
yeah,
shortly.
yeah,
Perfect.
that's fine. Do you have any final questions that you want to ask? I've got one.
Okay. you
Okay.
go.
What is a piece of advice that you want to leave everyone watching with?
To anybody watching, I just want to let you know that times are not always easy. I might not know all of your circumstances or situations, but I do want to let you know that I love you and I care about you. And no matter how hard times get, it does get better. So never give up. Always keep going. You're all beautiful and you are amazing. To my people struggling with addiction, accountability, groups, recovery, and all that is absolutely amazing, but none of it matters if you don't truly want it from within. So I just want to let you know if you are struggling with addiction, you can overcome it. You just really have to want it, but you got this, and I believe in you. I don't want to see you end up as another name on a remembrance shirt that I have out here as we're walking in remembrance of our loved ones due to mental health and recovery issues. So keep going, keep fighting, go out there, be awesome, and lift people up with love and positivity today because you matter. Wee!
It's incredible. I love it.
I know you still have a couple days around this area.
Yes.
But thus far, do you think you'd ever make it back to Marco?
Possibly. It's a pretty decent area. I would love to do more. It's just prices around here are not the easiest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy because the season that just came in, like 4 days ago, prices on hotels were way different than they are for this week. And it just like doubled up. Yeah. So thank you again to Fiona and Deb. Yeah. For real.
Great. I think since you've got to go, we can wrap up. Where can everybody go and follow you?
I guess the easiest way would just be like Google a walking testimony, walking across America for mental health and recovery. But I'm on all social media platforms. My name is Kyndal Ray Edwards, and that Kyndal is Kyndal. If you're ever wondering how to pronounce it, just think electronic book. And that's me.
It's funny. We were having the discussion last night. Is it Kindle or is it Kendall? We were like trying to sound it out.
I'm not a candle.
It took me watching a couple of your YouTube videos and it was like, oh, he said it. With that, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes.
Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate y'all.
Official friend of the podcast.
Yes.
Yeet. Marco, hello, Marco.
There we go.
Good morning, Marco.
There we go. Even though it's evening now,
and
almost.
afternoon.
But Jordan, where can they find you?
You can find me primarily on Instagram, JGCraley03. You can find my work at Current Creations FL for any media marketing and events. And you can find me at the Farmers Market every Wednesday morning. I'm painting custom event banners. So if you've got a special birthday coming up or a bachelor party or anything, I can paint some stuff for you. Ryan, where can they find you?
You can find me at www.ryanmsullivan.com. You can find links to everything that I'm working on right there, links to all my social media pages, which my Instagram is Real Ryan Sullivan. That's RealRyanSullivan. And also, on my website, you can find a link to the second edition of my book. I reprinted it. I made it a little bit larger because I couldn't read the old version anymore. And then also, my sister designed the cover. So now
It's a phenomenal cover.
no AI has touched that thing because I wrote it all with my own noggin, and my sister drew the front cover with her own noggin. So it is now completely human made, which thank God for that. It's 39 pages long now. It's about an hour read. If you want to pick it up, it's on Amazon. It's like $8. Anyway,
It's really good. If you go to Cavaculture Marco Island at all and you happen to see Ryan, he will most likely break out into
I'll read it
reading
to you. I'll
Yeah.
read it to you. Yeah, no, if you want to, I'll read it to you.
In voices? With
I'll do the
accents?
voices. I'll do the voices. I'll do the accents. I'll do my best impersonation of the person I based.
He plays
the
music at
character
certain
on.
parts, too.
I do. Yeah, no.
Y'all
I'll
better
like-
find him and tip him and get him to autograph your stuff, man.
I will. Yeah, I'll do it. I got a couple of copies of the first edition with me, so just come up to me and I'll give you one. With that, again, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today,
y'all for
Kyndal.
having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Any final closing arguments that you want to say before we close?
Just always remember that you matter. That's the biggest thing.
Amen. Amen. All right. With that, sponsored.
This episode of Good Morning Marco is brought to you by Tyler Buchan of the Golf Group. Located right here on Marco Island, they're your go-to experts for luxury living on Marco Island and beyond. Whether you're looking for a waterfront home with golf access, a condo with stunning beach views, or a private retreat down on Hideaway Beach, Tyler and his team will guide you to your home. Visit thegolfgroup.com to start your search today, or call 239-420-1099. Once again, that number is 239-420-1099. Go to thegolfgroup.com to find out more. Thank you so much to Tyler and his team for sponsoring this episode of Good Morning Marco.
And with that, thank you so much for watching. It really does mean the most, and we will see you all in the next one. Bye.